video, and I'd like to apologize for that. Okay, the thing is, I moved house. Yes, we moved, and I've been trying to settle in. Basically, I've been trying to settle in so much. This is like 2-3 weeks after moving, and I'm still settling in. So what I want to assure you that as soon as I settle in, I have more contents that I'm going to be pouring out here and there, enough time to make videos and to edit them and then put them out there for you. Okay, I'm actually standing on something so I can have this perfect view. Oh, by the way, do you like my background? I'm at the art studio. I had to take permission from the artist to make use of his studio room, right? And he's like my favorite artist at the moment. So yes, I took permission to be able to use this place because I needed a quiet environment, and somehow I found this spot beautiful. I will include his contact in the description section. Okay, so moving on. I decided, okay, since I'm going to make a video explaining why I haven't really put any content out there and talking about how I moved house, I decided, okay, why not also include 5 tips? Yeah, 5 tips to consider before moving house. Whether you're moving house to say, okay, to go rent another apartment, or whether you're moving to your own building, your own property, whatever, however way, I'm going to be giving 5 tips I consider important that you should know before moving house. And I'm going to be reading from my list over here. Yes, I said I have a list, didn't I? Okay. I'd like to also mention that I am not putting them in any particular order of importance or anything like that. No, I'm just listing them out. And the first I have on my list is cost. It's very important to consider the cost of moving house. Okay, if you're moving to a new apartment you're going to rent, you have to consider the rent. Or if you're going to build, of course, you have to put into consideration the cost of building or buying a house. You have to put into consideration the cost of the house, you know. And also, you have to put into consideration the cost of moving, okay, the cost of packing, boxing your properties, your items, your things, and transporting them to the new house. You have to actually consider the cost of all of this, transporting your items from the old to the new. So cost of moving your things to the new place. And you also have to consider the cost of the decor, touching the new apartment, the paintings, the decorations on the wall, on the floor, on the ceiling. Just basically the cost of moving. You have to put that into serious consideration. And number 2 I have on my list is time. You have to consider this very importantly. You have to move at a time, or you may want to move at a time where you have some free time on your hands. This will help you settle in faster and at your pace, because if you move at a time where you have, you know, work calling on you, lots of things to do, you may find yourself taking longer time settling in than you would have anticipated. So you have to consider the time. You have to pick a time that is convenient for you. And talking about time, I'm also going to talk about the seasons, the period of time that you're going to move. You have to consider, over here we have what we call the rainy season and the dry season and all of that. You have to know how it's like, how the environment is like at this period of times to know exactly the best time to move in. Okay, you don't want to move in when it's rainy or flooded, or however, I don't know, but I just feel it's important to consider the time you're moving in, time on your hands, free time on your hands, and also the period, the season, the weather. That's my number 2 point. And my number 3 tip would be distance. I cannot overemphasize this. Distance. Okay, I'm going to mention something quickly here. As regards distance, there are 3 things I really consider, 3 locations, right? And it's my place of work, my church, and the marketplace, places I frequent like almost every time. You have to consider the distance from your new house to these places that you are likely to visit often. It could be your workplace or your school or whatever, places you go to like almost every day. And then your church. I'm a Christian girl, so I go to church. And then the marketplace, where you go to get things, to shop for food stuff and all of that. You have to consider the distance. It's important. Easy accessibility. Number 4 tip I have on my list is transportation. Yes, this is largely connected to the distance, right? Because if you stay very far away from work or from school, you may have to spend more on transportation. It also depends on if you have a car, right? And if you do have a car, of course, you will have to fuel your car and all of that. So the distance greatly affects your transportation fare or money spent on fuel, right? Okay, so you will need to consider that. The next tip, the last tip I have here is comfort. Yes, comfort. Yeah, I'm sorry this is coming in last. It doesn't mean that I would consider this last. It just happens to be the 5th on my list. So yeah, it's comfort. You have to put your comfort into serious consideration. Yes, the type of house you're moving to, the distance from the places you would frequent, how comfortable the environment is to your mental health, to your physical health. Yes, so you would have to put all of this into serious consideration. That's all for now. That's all for today. So I just felt, okay, these are tips I consider very important and I felt would be helpful in helping you make your decision to move house. That's all for today. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye!